Hello, Instagram. How's it going? Welcome back to the new episode and the ninth episode of the Zildjian Talk with the amazing Sarah Thawer, all the way from Toronto, Canada. I'm just going to wait for some more people to join in. Hope you guys are doing fine, staying safe at home. I know a lot of things are opening up. Hey Sambit, how are you? So yeah, stay safe, stay at home, use precautions, and you have to be very aware of the things that you guys will do now, because as you know, the lockdown is kind of opening up on Monday a little bit, and so just be aware and stay safe. So hi Varun. Cool. A lot of people are joining in. I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes before we invite our first guest from Canada today. As you know, she's one of the finest drummers in the scene right now. She's been doing so well since the last 4-5 years. She's been from Drumeo to like Basic 2018, and she's been part of the Zildjian live event as well. She's pretty much playing all the major drumming events since the last couple of years. She's been a very dear friend as well. I got to meet her and hang with her during my NAM visit and the Zildjian live event, which happened in January. So cool. I think, as you guys know, we have the amazing Sarah, and pretty much everybody knows about her, but a couple of things that she's done. You obviously seen her recently on the Zildjian live event. She's been currently touring, collaborating, doing session work, and performing with several international artists, playing jazz, funk, R&B, Indian, and world music. She studied jazz and world music at York University and was the recipient of the Oscar Peterson Scholarship. And she has shared stages with various artists, including A.R. Rahman, George Watsky, John Batiste, Robert Spur and Ghost Note, and many more. So I'm going to invite her, and let's see if she's here. Sarah, are you here? Okay, let me check. Okay, I'm just going to wait for Sarah to join in. Yes. Let's welcome. Hello.
Hey Darshan, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Can you hear? I think
Yes,
we're
I can.
frozen. Yeah, we're back. Okay,
Yes, that's better.
there we go. How are you?
Very good, very good. Good to see you.
Great
Firstly,
to see you
welcome
too.
to the Zildjian India page, and thank you for accepting our invitation to come on the Zildjian Talk with me.
Thank
And
you.
it's great to see you again, actually. And we had a good hang this time at NAM, and and especially to see you live at the Zildjian live event was so much fun. You were, anyways, outstanding. Nothing much to say.
Thank you so much.
So tell us, how are you doing? How are you? How's your family? How's everybody in Toronto doing? Is the lockdown pretty easy there now?
Lockdown's pretty much still there. No music. Everybody's at home.
Right.
Everybody's well, but I'm taking the most of the time to practice, develop new vocabulary, listening to a lot of music, and
Yeah.
creating a lot. So just trying to stay motivated and creative.
Yes, I've been seeing some of your videos, and whether it's the recent one that with Pete Lockett was something
Yeah.
really incredible.
Thank you.
Even I think a folk tune that you did with Shweta,
Mm-hmm.
that was really cool as well. So yeah, I've been following your stuff, and as usual, amazing content from you every week, pretty much.
Thank you.
So I've got a lot of questions actually today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come to those questions, but before that, tell us, how did you start? Like, how did your journey start? I know you have a very musical family,
Mm-hmm.
so tell us more about that.
Yeah, so my dad's a musician. He plays keyboard, plays a harmonium, accordion, and very involved into Bollywood and Indian music. So it's very interesting. Like I really consider myself a Bollywood musician first before I stepped into the Western music scene, but just
Yeah.
living in Canada. And he had his own band, and when Asha Bhosle and everybody would come to Toronto, my dad would go backstage and he would bring me to go see what the musicians are doing. And so grew up being very self-taught. My dad never wanted me to be a drummer. He said nobody cares about the drummer. Drummer's at the back of the stage. So he put me in piano classes, put me in singing classes, Hindustani classical singing
Oh,
classes.
cool.
And I even did some tabla for about 10 years, but not drum set.
Okay.
I started playing in this band a lot. And what I would do on my spare time is I would listen to a lot of classical music and filmy music and played on the dholak, tabla, congo, and everything, and then go on the drum set and then voice all these rhythms on the drum set for fun.
Yeah.
And I would play with him. And then I went to university, and then I said, okay, here's stick control. Here is a French grip, traditional grip, German grip. Then I started getting into the whole, okay, syncopation and more formal education. And then just went off touring and playing. So that's kind of a brief summary.
Amazing. I mean, I still remember, I think, I don't know what year was that, but I think you had come with your father for a Shankar Ehsaan Loy concert. And I think we met backstage, like briefly that time. You were
Yeah.
pretty small then, yeah. So, yeah, I remember those times when your dad used to get you to these concerts. So,
Yeah.
amazing. So tell us your kind of the relationship with Zildjian. When did that start? And are you somewhere around the kit? Can we see the setup if possible?
My Wi-Fi connection is so bad in the
Okay.
basement.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
sorry. Yeah. But I've been a Zildjian lover for a lot of many years. I went to NAM, I think it was 2016 or yeah, 2016, and Larnell Lewis is one of my mentors and one of my dear friends.
Yes.
And he introduced me to the Zildjian family. And there's a Canadian rep, his name is Scott Atkins, and I met him at a Benny Greb clinic. And he
Okay.
introduced me to Zildjian too back in 2016. So that's when the official relationship started.
Right. And I've
Yeah.
also seen currently you've been using a lot of stacks and like, different kind of stacks. So can you just talk about like, I think it is a ZXT and then some China. But if you can speak a little bit about the stacks that you've been using.
Yeah. Oh, I love stacks. So one of the stacks that I have is I have my Oriental China.
Okay.
What is it like a 16 or 18? And then on top I have a KEFX.
Okay.
So
Got it.
that's one. And then what's the other one? I love stacking trash formers. So I have like a
Yes.
10, 8, and another 10. And then maybe sometimes I'll put an A custom EFX in the middle or on top. That's another one. And then the most recent I've been playing around with, it sounds like someone snapping their fingers. It's a 10 Oriental China and then an A custom EFX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
So yeah, they've been like whatever the videos you've been putting, they sound really like very crisp and tight, like and great effect. And the way you play it, it's amazing. So, what is your favorite series if you go to say like which is your favorite Zildjian series symbol like?
I love dry. There's something about dry cymbals, and I
Yes.
love playing cymbals as accents, like not only as okay, verse, chorus, or bringing into the next song form. It's just like okay, here's the E of something, and you hit it, and it gets out of the way. So it's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of questions about obviously, using Indian grooves to this whole jazz setup. When did you start actually thinking that, okay, let me try using these Indian grooves and, into the complete jazz band setup that you've been doing with your band and other artists?
So it's funny because I never consciously decided to do that because I didn't have a drum teacher growing up. And, back then there was no YouTube or you can just
Yes.
Google something. So whatever music my dad brought on CDs or cassettes, that's the only music I had. So he would say, okay, play me a kerva, play me rupak, play a dhol on the drum set. And then we would play festivals and he would say, I'm not hiring any tabla or dholak player, but you have to sound like tabla or dholak and figure it out. And then I would play and he's like, I don't feel it, try again. So then I would start incorporating stacks. I would start, using the rims to imitate like the pinky dholak ring and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
then
yes.
it just started becoming second nature. And then I got invited to Drumeo and they're like, what do you want to talk about? I said, creativity, independence. They said, how about you talk about Indian grooves? And I'm like, will people like it? Because this is an organic approach. It's not like, a tintal or like a script that comes from a book or something. So I said I was very
Right.
insecure. Then Larnell's like, talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, you'll wish you had talk about it. So I did the drum ELS, and then it became a thing that everyone's like, oh, this sounds so cool. And then just kind of fell into my plate naturally.
Right. So
Yeah.
my second question was in that space was like obviously as we have different bowls like the one that you did recently with Pete Lockett as well we have fives and sevens and nines and stuff in the Carnatic system as well. How do you put that in your language of not exactly sounding very typical, but also using your chops and rudiments around that? Do you have a way to work around those concepts?
So even if you take like Rupak, right? Tin tin na dhinna dhinna, I will say, okay, where's the Kali and where's the Bhari? Ta, 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 boom, boom, ka, 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 boom, ta, 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 ta. So you just kind of play around with where it's light and then where it's heavy, and that's how I think about it.
Right. So that's basically using the Indian language and seeing how sonically it sounds there, and then try to interpret that into the drumming part of it.
Basically.
Cool. There was another question about pretty similar from a drummer called Kwab from Mumbai. He's like, how do you maintain that headspace when you are playing Western music and Desi music and sound so correct in both the styles?
Thank you first, Quab. I appreciate it. Living in Toronto, it's extremely versatile in terms of the music scene. Like there's a bar for Cuban and Brazilian music only. I played in a gospel music church, Pentecostal, strictly gospel music for 5-6 years.
Wow.
Then there's strictly jazz clubs. There's strictly so many genres, and these clubs are very pure in their music. So to be versatile and for people to hire me, I was forced to be authentic to the genres. So a lot of listening, studying people and following drummers around, seeing the way people dance, seeing the way the food tastes. Brazilian swing versus Cuban swing is like two different things. So it's understanding these nuances.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm sure that would answer what he was looking at.
Yeah.
There was another question, as you said, about you going to York University and that whole thing changing overall the perspective about the drumming scene, as you said, about grips and stuff like that. How much do you think music schools and colleges which offer degree in music are worth the price? This is a question from Marcelo from Mumbai.
Hi, Marcelo. This is a very tough question for me. Like my mom's an engineer and she's a big academic. So, and I have a twin sister who's a doctor. So for me, going into music for a second. Okay, there, we're back. Can you hear me? Yeah, now I can hear you. We're back. Okay, great. So can you hear me?
Is that bad? Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can.
All right. So, my parents are very big academics. So my mom said you can only pursue music if you do a degree. So I was very angry and I said, this is going to be completely useless. But what music program teaches you is how to write essays, how to be a good speaker, how to learn. I think that's one of the most important things. And music school exposes you. Like I got exposed to gospel music, funk fusion, building a network. But school, in my opinion, humbly, it won't bring you any opportunities. You have to like figure it out yourself. And I feel like a lot of people that I know have relied on school to get to point A and point B. It's just a tool that will sharpen your skills and will expose you to so many things, I think.
Right, because a lot of drummers from India mainly always think that going to things like Berkeley and all these universities abroad, but it's also very expensive for people to kind of not everybody can afford that. So that's always a question whether how much obviously technically and musically you're going to grow, but how much work you're going to get out of that is, as you said, that's not going to work out that much. You're going to really work.
I don't think so, because even I wanted to go to Berkeley because Canada is a very small scene. If you compare it to America, it's really hard to get like an international name or break into the American scene. So I wanted to go to Berkeley, but being an international to go to Berkeley, I looked at the fees and I said, I can't do this. Right. So being active on social media, I think having some sort of paper, if you want it, it's beneficial if you want to go into teaching. But I wouldn't say I'm going to go to Berkeley. my future is going to be big. That's not the right mentality to think. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, there was another question about your practice routine. Is there any particular way you kind of focus every week or every day? Have you planned it when you are at home in the studio?
So I would say like 5 years ago, I was a bit crazy. I would spend 1 hour on foot control only, another hour on the stick pad only, then an hour on independence. And then I'm like, I think I'm going to lose my mind. And I did this for like 3, 4, 5 years.
Wow.
Now I've written all my exercises down, and depending on my mood, what I'm listening to, I'll say, okay, I'll work on this. Okay, I'll work on that. But I try at least an hour a day, at least.
Okay. Even when you started, you used to practice about a couple of hours, or how was your routine
Like
then?
I would do like 4, 5 hours. When I
Okay.
would hit 6 hours, I'd be like, my brain is fried and it doesn't make sense anymore. But
Yes.
I would say 4 hours, break it up, but very focused practicing, not just like noodling around.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Uh, so tell us about how do you feel after, in the last, I think, 4, 5 years, you've played, I think, the major drum festivals everywhere, Drumeo, Jam Card, VF Jams, Zildjian Live, like, I think pretty much everything. How does it feel?
It feels crazy. Like it feels definitely unreal, and it keeps me on my toes to keep practicing. So I'm very grateful for those opportunities.
Amazing, amazing. I'm sure, like, how was your, I think Shem David has asked you, how was your first live performance, like an experience?
First I think I was like 5 or something like that. And it was me, my dad, and my sister. My sister was playing tambourine. I was playing, the three Congo drums, the Indian Congos.
Yes.
Yeah, and we were doing like a garba show or something like that. So it's a lot of fun. That's all I can remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh, there was also a question about which was your first band, like with your setup, like obviously after the whole Bollywood stuff that you did as a kid and stuff. Which was your like
Yeah.
first official band?
I was playing with a lot of my friends, like from music school, but I would say big, like recognizable person would be Jane Bennett.
Okay.
She's a Canadian and American Grammy Award nominee saxophone player and specializes in Cuban jazz. So that was
Nice.
like my first like professional league thing.
That was at
Yeah.
what age? Like what?
I would say like late teens.
18 second.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, I read in the bio you've also played with A.R. Rahman, Vijay Prakash, Benny Dayal, all these amazing artists from India. How was that experience? How was playing with A.R. When in Canada? I think you played with him.
In Canada. It was a crazy. So there's a story that so in 2012 or 13, I get an email or all these Facebook messages. AR Rahman is looking for you, and I'm like, yeah, right. That doesn't make sense. And then I find out that he wanted me for Coke Studio.
Okay.
But because it was too many messages, I thought it was not real, so I declined the invitation. Then when he came 3 years later, he's like, you rejected me, and nobody has ever rejected me, but I'm playing for
Wow.
2 nights. Yeah. And then he's like, come and jam with us on stage the next day. So I went for sound check and I just played. He said, okay, come later for the show and let's play. And I said, okay.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And how was your experience with Benny and the Punctuation and Vijay Bhai?
I love Benny. He's amazing. And I love Alok. And it's fun. Like the first time they came, I played for some percussion with them. We played what did we play? I think Battamizville or something we played. And
Yes.
then he came a few times after. So me and my sister, we took the whole band and we went to different jazz clubs and listened to music. So they became such dear friends. And with Vijay, sir, we played some Tamil festivals here a couple
Oh,
of summers
nice.
ago. Yeah,
Okay.
so that was fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, this is a question from Raman from Delhi.
Hmm.
Since you play jazz fusion, which usually has complex structures, do you think of the melody part on the keyboard first, or did you design rhythm layer after learning parts on keyboard? Do you use any kind of melodic content?
I play piano, so I feel like I sing the melody and I understand the song form. Like, okay, 4 bars is A or 16 bars is B or whatever. And then when I'm playing drums, I'll sing the form in my head and then I can try to hear what the chord changes, what's happening. So
Okay.
that's how I kind of go about it.
Okay, but what about like odd time and like complex structures when if it's like say like a maybe something in 15 or some like really odd time 11 and things like that. How do you work that
Yeah.
out?
I find the a pattern, like maybe there's a riff or there's a melodic line that's repeating, and then I
Right.
just try to sing it. And I don't like thinking too much when I'm playing, so I try to make it like a mantra, then play based off the mantra that keeps repeating over and over again. Like, what's the common theme?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if and how will you structure? Do you have like a structure for drum solos or something, or that it's pretty much on the moment, kind of what happens?
I think for me, sometimes it's a good thing and a bad thing. I love just doing whatever in the moment. It's a lot of fun. But if it's like a big show or they say you only have 16 bars, you only have a set form, I will say, okay, I'll start on the snare, I'll go on the toms, maybe I'll do linear, okay, maybe I'll do like a 6-stroke roll with cymbals here. But that's all I say. I leave it very open.
But at that particular moment, you're not thinking of any rudiment or exercise. It's pretty much just whatever comes in that particular moment.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll also sing. Like I used to play a lot of congas growing up, like Cuban percussion. So the way conga players play, they go ah, ah, so when I'm starting a solo, I'll go ah, and then you start building from that.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the last part of the Zildjian live. I was lucky enough to like be there and see you like right in front, and I love all those stuff that you did on the pad as well, like with playing around on the drums. Good fun.
Thank you.
So this is a question from Dhruv Maniac. I don't know, that's his maybe Instagram name.
Yeah.
Does the change in stick grip bring a change in the sound produced on a drum? For example, maybe like match or traditional grip, or also using like a German or French grip. Does it affect the sound of the drum?
So for me, I rely on my control to affect the sound of the drum. When I think of grip, it would be more stylistically or what I'm trying to achieve. So like if I'm going to think of French grip, I'll think of like fusion jazz instantly because you're trying to use a lot of fingering and
Finger.
stuff. If I really want to have dynamics on my snare and comp a lot, okay, traditional grip so I can get that finesse happening. If I'm really like hammering out funk, some gospel thing, then matched down the middle.
Right. So it pretty much
Yeah.
changes for you according to the genre that you are performing with. Like,
According to the genre, yeah.
pretty much. Okay.
Yeah.
But you've always been pretty much a match grip player, right? I've never seen you
Yeah,
that much using the traditional grip.
it's funny. I started out open-handed, and then
Okay.
I noticed I'm like everyone's playing closed-handed or whatever the formal word is, and then I said I switched. Now I'm trying to get back into traditional. I did some traditional in high school, but trying to get back into it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Sarah, tell us about your inspirations. Like when you were growing up, and obviously there was a lot of Bollywood music and all this happening. But when it came to like taking drums as an instrument, like taking forward, who were your inspirations and your heroes back then?
Um, I would say for me, gospel music was a breaking point in my life where I felt like I was reborn again. I always say that I feel like I've had two lives. The first life was until 0 to age 17, 18. Then 18 onwards, I felt like I was reborn again. In terms of drum set specifically, gospel music changed everything for me because I love being in the moment. And when I started playing in a church, they call things in the moment. And even jazz was a big breaking point for me. Like we competed in jazz festivals throughout high school and we traveled a lot. But like soloing, Oscar Peterson, Miles Davis, Tony Williams, Art Blakey, they changed it for me. And drummers like Larnell Lewis too, because the way Larnell plays is he thinks like a percussionist when you hear him play,
Yes.
and he thinks of a lot of rhythmic things, and I'm very I appeal to that a lot. So gospel music and like people like Larnell really changed a lot for me.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also it also shows in your playing because it's not just the grooving part, but the way you kind of play your fills and there's a lot of gospel influence in those in that playing for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us about some any upcoming projects. Like I know, because of the lockdown, a lot of things are either postponed or cancelled. For at least this year in this country. How
Yeah.
are things back there when it comes to work? Are things opening up slowly? Are there any things happening in the future like tours and projects?
I think right now everything's on hold. It's the same like India, so I don't know what's happening. I was supposed to be on tour in the US right now for 2 months with a rapper named Watsky, so that I don't know what's gonna happen there. In this time I've done a couple of recordings and collaborations, which I can't really talk about, but it should be coming out soon. So just taking it day by day, and I'm hoping as soon as COVID ends, I really want to get back to LA because I was there before all of this started. So we'll see how things go.
Nice. Any plans
Yeah.
for India?
I've been waiting to come to India. I'm ready. I'm ready to come.
We should do some something with Zildjian and get you for some clinics, some
Love
we
to.
doing a lot of drum camps out here now, so
Wow.
there's a very very amazing drumming community in India. I'm sure you're aware of it, some amazing
Yeah.
drummers out here as well, and obviously you have a great fan following out here now, so it'll be great to have you. uh,
Would love to.
okay, I'm going to take some questions from the chat now. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Kwab is saying on the Mumbai Drum Day. I think, yeah, that'll be awesome to have Sarah on the Mumbai Drum Day.
Would love to.
Sarah, can you tell us something about your guru? Did you have like a teacher at the before going to York?
No, I never had a teacher. I think all my life I only had one teacher at York for about 2 years, and that's about it. I consider myself to be really self-taught, and my ears and watching have been my teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
Raman asks, did you learn from Lanin?
I didn't, but what I would do, and you can ask anybody in Toronto, for 8 years, I followed him. Literally, I would stalk him at every single show. And then I remember I would wait up till 4 in the morning, seeing what he's doing. And then I would wait till everybody left to ask him a list of questions. So it became a joke that after the show would end, he'd be like, "You have any more questions for me?"
Amazing. Oh wow, there's some people from Costa Rica.
Yay.
That's so cool. Wow, this is funny. How many sticks have you broken during a live performance?
Quite a few, quite a few.
Amazing. This is from into drumming during. Okay. How many years into drumming do you recommend going into odd time signatures? This is from Drum Lunatic.
Um, for me, I'm not a very structured person. Like, I don't believe you open page one and you go to page 50. I feel like everything kind of works simultaneously. So learn your grooves in 4/4 and then hint at some odd time signatures. There's not like a perfect day to start anything. Just start. Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We have. Oh my God, there's a lot of questions out here. Okay, this one is from Sambit. Again, he's an amazing drummer from Calcutta, now in Mumbai.
Amazing.
Hey Sarah, lovely playing. Who's your favorite Bollywood music director who's inspired or changed your playing?
Artie Berman, for sure, Artie Berman, because all the Latin rhythms he had, and it's so funny because I started playing conga, bongo, timbale because of hearing his music, and then when I went to university, I showed my drum teacher. I'm like, look at this Indian rhythm. He's like, that's not Indian. He said, that's Cuban, and then my mind blew up. So Artie Berman, hands down.
Yes, I think he was one of the first music directors to use all these amazing percussions and
That's
especially
right.
congas and the bongos and oh my God, some amazing percussion has been used. Like especially people like Trilok Gutu were also part of his earlier sessions. So
I
uh,
love Thriller.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's one of the cats from. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any tips on chops and linear fills? Anything for upcoming drummers?
Yeah, so I like taking a specific concept and manipulating it as many ways as I can. So the simplest one, kick, kick, hand, hand. Then you can do kick, kick, right, right, kick, kick, left, left, and kick, kick, right, left, kick, left, right. Then orchestration is so important. Maybe the two cymbals, maybe just your left hand on the hi-hats, maybe cross your arms with floor tom and hi-hat. Then you flip it around, hand, hand, kick, kick, then kick, hand, kick, then hand, kick, hand. and they just make like a bunch of combinations. That's like one perfect example.
Wow. Okay. I think that
Yeah.
answers your question. We have people from Brazil.
Mhm.
Love your performance.
Thank you.
Okay, this is cool. What's your favorite Indian food?
Oh my God, my favorite Indian food. Papri chaat is my favorite.
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we are a big chaat fan out in Mumbai. If you come, you're going to really enjoy some good pani puris and some lovely
I
chaat. Street
love
food.
pani puri. I love my mom makes pani puri once a week at home.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Uh, okay. Question from can you please do some bowls in Ektal? Do you have any kind of phrases in Ektal? Some vocal
I would
percussion?
I would need to be behind the kit for that. So stay tuned.
Right. So, where did you learn tabla? Like when you started learning, as you said, for 10 years.
Yeah, there's a tabla player named Shubhajyoti Guha, and he's actually from Calcutta. And he would come to Toronto for performances, I think, like for a summer or something. So every summer he would come, I would take maybe 8 to 10 lessons with him.
Okay, so it was not a regular thing. Whenever he used to come to
No.
Canada, you used to kind of learn under him. Then.
Yeah, and then I learned some Rindangam and some Kanjira from Trishi Shankaran,
Oh yeah,
um, because he's from here. Him
yes.
and then there's another fellow named Trivindam Balaji, and he lives here too. So I circulated a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Steve Smith also has done a lot of stuff with Richie G and especially in Canada.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, okay. Can we hear you play? I'm sorry, she's not at the kit, so you can't hear her. But you can surely check out her on Instagram, and there are a lot of amazing
Yes.
videos out there. You also have a YouTube channel, which is
Yeah.
Sarah T Drum Guru.
Sarati Drum Guru. Yeah.
Okay. How did this name come
So
in?
I'll
Like,
tell you why. So when I was like early teens, YouTube started coming out. So I started putting up videos on YouTube. Then my mom's like, come up with a cool name. So she's like, Sarah Thawer, Desi Girl. I'm like, Mom, how? Like the public won't understand Desi Girl. And then I started walking around school. Everyone's like, yo, Drum Guru, what's up? Guru. And then I said, Sarah T Drum Guru. And it became a fun nickname. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Somebody's also asked about your expressions, like especially when you play. Where do these expressions come from?
So it's funny because when I was playing growing up, my mom would say, "Put your tongue back in your mouth. It doesn't look good what you're doing with your face." And I said, "Leave me alone." Then I saw videos of people they took of me, and I said, "I look like that." And then I tried keeping a straight face, but it didn't feel natural. So I'm like, I don't care. I'll do whatever I want. So it just came naturally.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about you is that you're just you when you're playing. You don't give a shit about what's happening across. It's like you're having fun on the kit, and it doesn't matter. Like and that's what I think is important when you really mean what you play. Like you don't have to smile just because somebody just to get some good pictures. That's so
Yeah.
that's amazing. Okay. Uh, let's take a last couple of them.
Hmm.
This is from Rani Kaur from Delhi. Hi Sarah, who inspires you? Like,
Um, Herbie Hancock is someone who really inspires me because he's someone who's been such a pioneer in jazz, but he's done so many types of genres of music and he's constantly evolving. For me, I always just want to be involving. I don't really have like an end result of what I want to be, just a constant hunger of growing and learning.
that's amazing. And which is that one artist that you really want to perform in this year or maybe next year?
Herbie Hancock is my dream person to play with. Yeah,
Okay, I think we're putting that out in the universe, and I'm sure it's
I
going
am.
to. How was your experience? This is from Gagan Kit. How was your experience at Drumeo? I think you did talk about it, but yeah, how was your overall
Yeah,
experience there?
it was amazing. I tell everybody going to Drumeo is like going to a retreat, a vacation, because they treat you so well and they put you in a nice hotel. You're just playing drums all day. It's like a vacation. I didn't even think of it as I'm going to do work. I'm like, I'm going to have fun. It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this one From a drummer's perspective, which is your favorite song
Hmm.
from Shiva?
Uh, I would say like any let me think. I was just listening to Yellow Jackets. I can't remember the name of the album, but the album came out in 2018. So
Yeah.
just like the way Will Kennedy is playing, how do you set up a shot? What does it mean to set up a shot? How many bars are you going to set up a shot? How are you going to like get into the chorus or into the head? How are you going to lead into the solo if the bass player is taking a solo? And I feel like there's not one really good song because it really depends on the approach and the people that you're playing with. Like some recordings that I've recently done, it's funny. I did like 5 takes for this person. And I played one take, which was medium intensity, more
Mm.
dynamics. Then the next take was very intense, but maybe not as loud. Then the third take, I'm like, I don't care. I'm tired of doing all these takes. I'm just going to go ham on it. And he's probably not going to like it. And he said, I loved it. And he's like, I want to use that take. So for me, there's so much gray area. There's not a right answer. It just depends what you're going for.
Right, right. So, when
Yeah.
you go for a session back in Canada, how does thing work? Do they give you a scratch before you reach the studio, or you have to reach the studio, listen to the song, and then figure out whatever the way out is?
I think it really depends. For me, majority, it's been they send me a demo or something like that, majority of the time.
So you have some time to kind of figure what are you going to play, and like whether it's grooves or fills, or if there is a solo section, you have some time to kind of figure that out before you reach the studio.
Usually, and if there isn't too much time or if they don't give me much information, I'll study the artist, like who are his past drummers, what is he like for his albums, what is he like as a person.
That's nice, yeah. Yeah, because you're in Bollywood, sometimes when we go for recordings, we don't get much time because we just have to go to the studio and they will give, we'll hear the song there, and, within like half an hour, 45 minutes, you got to just play,
Wow.
thinking about the song and, what the music director likes, and, and obviously the film story also, sometimes you got to keep in mind about how it's going to be filmed and stuff like that. So a lot of things change when you go to the studio, dear.
I want to play for a Bollywood movie one day. That will be a dream come true.
Yeah, I think we should do one when you come out, when you come to Mumbai. We should plan something out for that.
Yes,
That'd be
yes.
awesome. Okay, there's a question. Do you speak Hindi from
My
Sahil?
Hindi, my Hindi
Let's
is
try.
very bad. Anything you say I can understand, but I speak Kutchi at home, which is a dialect
Oh,
of Gujarati. My parents speak very good Hindi and Gujarati, but before I come to India, my Hindi will be paka. Okay, I promise you.
Pakka. Okay. Okay, this one. This one from Indian drummers page. What is the first thing you're going to do when you come to India?
The papri chaat and pani puri. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yes, absolutely. Uh, let's see. How do you keep? This is from Kanjira Boy. How do you keep the feel alive while improvising?
Um, the feel alive. I try not to get too much in my head or think about the rudiments. I really try to tap into what I'm feeling in the moment, and singing helps in my head.
Yes,
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Uh, Somebody's talking about foot technique. Any particular way you are going about, like either swivel or flat foot? What do you use?
Yeah. I do heel up, and I think of hitting the pedal like tapping. And if I'm doing like a quick double, I do slide.
Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, wow, we've got people from Argentina. Uh,
Yay.
okay, this is a cool one. Did you struggle with buying drums in your early days? Drums are expensive, right?
Drums are so expensive here too. And I'll be quite honest, my really good red kit that I have in all my videos, I
Yes.
only got that how many years? I got that 5 years ago. Before 5 years ago, I was using a $300 drum set, like a Tama $300 drum set. No, like I only had maybe 3 cymbals that I would rotate. Like I had a Sabian cymbal, like random company cymbals. I would go to my friends in university and I would take everybody's broken sticks and would use them. Like I would not waste money. And I said, when the time will come, I will get a Yamaha proper kit, but there's no rush because your gear, in my opinion, your gear doesn't define you as a player. Maybe when you enter the professional world and you want to play and do sessions, but maybe invest in some good heads and things, but don't rush into it. It'll happen at the right time.
Yeah, I think that's amazing because a lot of people, nowadays because of social media and all, they see all these amazing setups and they always know, okay, I want to buy a double pedal, I want to buy, a stack or, a splash and stuff like that. And I feel, as you said, you just got to wait and, work on your art. That is very, very important. And then I think the other things will just follow where it has to,
For me, that was number one. And I had this rule. I had goals for myself that I'll keep using my crappy video camera, my crappy drum set until I achieve this, and then I'll get it. So I never thought of that. I'm going to get all this cool gear to look cool or to fit in. That your playing will shine through and everything will happen at the right time.
Right. Okay. We have Mr. Spears online as well. Yeah.
Aaron Spears, man. Modern drummer cover.
Yes. Congratulations, Aaron. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. There's a question from Harsh Stardust which says, how do you build ghost notes?
I build a lot of systems for myself. So for example, I'll take a 3-way coordination system of mine. My right hand will play 1 8th note, 2 16 notes. Da, 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 da. And let's say my kick will play beat 1 and beat 3. Then I'll take my left hand and I'll play all 16th note permutations on the snare.
Okay.
Then I will switch it from rim shot and snare head. So for example, I'll do singles, 1 E and 1 E and then 1 E end, 1 E end, 2 E end, 1 E end, 2 E end, 1 E end, 2 E end. So accenting really hard and soft with just 16 note permutations, I feel really helps.
Okay. Also, when you started, the whole university thing, were you also practicing on tracks and stuff like back then on any of your favorite artists and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would play to different albums and stuff like that, but mainly I was just like cleaning up my technique and going through Syncopation and The New Breed and books like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got another 10-15 minutes. Let's see. I'm going to take a couple of more. Who is your recent favorite drummer and why?
Oh my God. I would say for the past couple of years, I've been listening to Justin Brown a lot.
Yes.
And the way he plays with Thundercat and even his own album and his own music, I love his playing so much.
Nice. Okay. I think we've got enough questions. I think you've already answered this one. How do you segregate your practice time? From
sight reading, independence, coordination, linear, grooves, vocabulary of genres, listening to albums, and then even taking breaks, I find is so important, and that should be a necessity.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone had also asked about how important is social media. Obviously everybody's pretty much on it now, and how do you balance practicing and also keeping your social media activities going and stuff like that?
Yeah. So for me, my motivation for social media, especially when I was in school, was that I cannot get to LA because it's too expensive and I'm in school. So what can I do from my own home to be recognized internationally and in LA? Put videos up that I feel represent me. So if somebody meets me, they're like, oh, she's exactly like the way she was online. I try to be as transparent as possible. What I've been doing lately is if I feel inspired, if my practice session is going well, I'll turn on my phone and record. I'll be like, okay, that sounded pretty cool. Okay, just post it up on Instagram. I would record every show of mine, not for social media, but for a learning experience to listen how I sound. Then I liked a couple of clips, and then I thought that I want to be known as a versatile musician. So let me put up a Cuban gig. Let me put up a gospel gig. Let me put up an Indian gig. Let me put up a funk gig. So I take my Instagram now as my walking resume, that if someone sees it, they're like, oh, she does this. She plays with that person. She plays like this. She's capable of doing this. Because a lot of the gigs that I've gone internationally have been from Instagram and YouTube.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think also, I also feel it's important to put content out but it's also should be the quality is also very, very important, because otherwise there's just too much content out there, and if you just putting everything every day, it's, I feel somehow it just gets, you know, unnoticed as well sometimes, and people don't like it as well.
I agree. Like behind every video, I have a purpose. Okay, I'm playing to this specific song, or I'm demonstrating this genre or this groove. So really think, yeah, just not, oh, okay, one video, two video, three. No, don't do
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's some more question coming in. How about a drum duet with Darshan Doshi? Yes, we've been
Yeah.
planning for a while now. I think we should do it
Yeah.
soon for sure. Uh,
Yes.
Ma'am, can you suggest, this is from Atmik Drama, can you suggest the correct way to go through New Breed?
So I'll pick an exercise that I like, and then I'll listen to a record that maybe has a similar ride pattern. Like again, if it's like da 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 da, and my left foot is playing eighth notes on the hi hat, and if my kick and my hand are playing rhythms or whatever it is, I have a musical reference, and then it'll inspire me to learn that exercise. I haven't gone through that whole book. I don't think I can ever go through a whole book because for me it gets too boring. So have a musical reference for every exercise, I would say.
That's nice, yeah. I think instead
Yeah.
of just doing it like an exercise and going through each of them, I think it's really
Yeah.
better to use it in a more musical format and not just do it as a rudiment.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Okay, I think this is the last question we'll take. Sarah, do you work on all these practice verticals, coordination, independence, sight reading, etc., or on a daily basis?
I break it up. Like maybe one day a little bit of sight reading, maybe the next day more coordination, next day more linear or whatever. Yeah, break it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think amazing. Thank you so much for answering all these questions. And
Oh,
I think before we say goodbye, any message that you want to give to all these upcoming drummers, because you know everyone out here is some, you know, there are some really good drummers on the chat as well. You know,
yeah.
some upcoming drummers as well. So, any final message to all of them?
I would say coming up, I was very competitive, where I was like, I'm going to be faster than that person. I'm going to sound better than that person. And then I realized that nobody cares and you're feeding your own ego at the end. Really focus on finding your voice and who you are as a player. What do you like? What means a lot to you? Maybe to you, a three-piece kit works. Maybe to you, you need 10 toms. It doesn't matter as long as you're honest to who you are, and that's how you will shine as a player.
I think that's amazing. Yeah, I think that pretty much answers everything. I think David. Hey, David, nice to see you. David from Bangalore.
David.
Still listen to the Lanal's record you gave him.
Yes.
Kira. So thank you, Sarah. This was really fun, and thank you for coming on Zildjian India. And we are really waiting to have you in Mumbai and in different cities. And hopefully, we should do that with Zildjian, and especially, you know, if we can kind of connect with Sarah and Tina, and we can, you know, all have you guys in Mumbai soon.
Yes, let's make it happen. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. See you. So yeah, that was the amazing Sarah Thawer. I hope you guys enjoyed the whole session. I think she pretty much answered pretty much all the questions today. And thank you so much for joining in today. And we are going to be back next Saturday at a different time. But now we have an amazing drama all the way from London. So you're going to hear the announcement on Tuesday, and I'll see you on next Saturday. Thank you so much, guys. Cheers.